Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain. Alright, so we're just about to start the fourth part of Delira's the quest chain, fourth and final part. It is Thrall of the Necromancer. So the pickup to this quest is a little bit different than a lot of other quests. So I am going to start off right with that. So right when you leave for the third part, you want to head back down and talk to Colin, just like you did when you were picking up the quest itself. And it will complete that part of the quest. The next thing here that you need to do is you actually need to head outside of the graveyard. And then you can talk to Derek Grospick. And he's going to give you a quest reward. Once that's done, I always just talk to him just to make sure that there's nothing else. But once that's done and you've talked to him and you've claimed your reward, you want to step back into the quest, or step back into Delira's graveyard. You can now approach Hargo here, and you can actually talk to him. Now you do need to talk to him 2 times, so we completed that conversation. We do need to talk to him again. And you want to do so until the cup above his head turns gray. From here, you want to actually head back up to where the 3 quests up here are, and head in onto the right one. So it'd be the Delira's tomb. And you can just head in on Reaper, whatever difficulty you're wanting to go in on. And all you gotta do is actually just approach Delira here. So walk up far enough to make sure you get that connection, and then just talk to her again. And this will now finally bestow that 4th part of the quest. So now if we look at our map, it now has our door highlighted, as well as it has our arrow marker on the map actually showing where to go. So I know a lot of people get confused first time running that, not knowing exactly what specifically they gotta do to trigger this quest. So I just wanted to start the video off with that, and then we're gonna jump in. Alright, so we are next level now, so we can have... I don't have a level 10, so let's stick with level 9s. Alright. So right off the bat, as soon as you head down the turn here towards the door, there is a trap. Now the trap box is on the right hand side just after that pillar. So if you're looking at the wall and you're counting back, so there's 1 pillar, 2 pillar, it's between the first and the second pillar. Right there. Now, if you don't have a trapper, don't worry. If you actually line yourself up with the dead center of the door, so it should be just to the right of this line here, and you're standing like exact center of the hall, you can actually pass through without getting hit by the trap. It is a little difficult to do, but it can be done. The next thing here, you come into a room and it is full of levers. My path that I take, I actually just pull all the levers on this right side here. And that will also spawn in enough enemies to also get conquest as well. However, if you come in, and actually just look above the door right there, you can see, I don't know if you were able to see it, but this lever here is the lever that opens up the door. So if you don't want to deal with all the extra fighting, you can just pull this lever. Nothing will spawn in, and it opens up the door there. However, we're going to go and get some kills. So again, you only need to do the levers on the western side or the left side when you enter in. I mean, you can go ahead and pull the other 4 on the other side, but you don't need to pull them in order to get Conquest. So it's just extra kills and extra work, but no additional reward. As you can see, there are some collectibles underneath the stairs, as well as some spawns. Now these spawns, they normally spawn in. Oop, let's just clear that up. They normally spawn in when you get close. So if you go underneath to pick up the collectible, it will spawn them in. Other than that, they'll spawn in once you approach the top here. Now what we want to do is obviously head through our open door, but be aware there are some traps in here. So I'm just going to clear these guys first. Alright, so our first trap actually comes right out of that pillar there. So I'm just going to do a search. So those 2 chests there. Now it is a poison trap, so if you are a Warforged or a Blade Forged, or you have the improved Construct Essence, which I don't yet have, you are immune to the poison and can actually just run right through it. If you are anybody else, you will have to run around or risk the poison damage itself. Now, once you pass that one, don't go running too far, as there's a second one right around the corner. Now this one isn't poison, this one is a cold trap, and the box for this one is right after the trap. So you wanna hopefully not lag too much. There you go. So you wanna just jump over the trap itself. Now be aware, once you do that, it will notify the enemies. So it does kind of stick you right here, as there's another trap right in front of you. Alright, so now that we got them all out of the way, we can grab the control box. Now this one here is for this cold trap, and then we have another poison trap, and as you can see, the poison trap box is right after it as well. Now for those that just rush right down to the bottom, you may notice that the door there is normally closed. If you just rush to the bottom, that one opens up once you kill all the whites in this area. It'll then open up. Alright, so the next room in here has a whole lot of sarcophagus, so I'm just gonna quickly do some busticating. Alright, there's also in the center, you'll see where my cursor's kind of pointing there. Not where that's shooting, but there's 2 buttons. Now when you step on those buttons, it is going to spawn in additional enemies. So some people, usually myself included, will actually just rush right in and just touch the button right away and get all the spawns to just spawn in. So I'm just going to do that now. It will also open up the doors, the corresponding doors. So you do need to touch these buttons. And it doesn't spawn in a whole lot of enemies, but it is additional enemies. And around the edge here, where the sarcophagus are, it will also spawn in archers, again, once you touched all those buttons. Alright, that seems to be the last of them. Alright. So now we have a path opening up on the east and on the west. Just because we're on this west side, we'll head this way. Generally speaking, I also always head west first. That's personal preference. Obviously, if you're with a team, you can split up, send one person west, one person east, and, you know, get it done in half the time. So the path on the west here, it does actually have some traps. So if you do have a trapper, that's the side you want to send them on. So the first one is actually this giant floor here that I'm standing on right now. It is just full of spikes. The box for this is actually located right next to the door here. And this is the door we need to progress through. In order to open it up, we do just need to head south, down and around to pull this lever. Now when we do this, it's also going to spawn in a few skeletal archers. Alright. Now they're also going to respawn a few on our way back, so just be aware that there's going to be a couple more spawning in here. Now, once we pass right through this door, there is another trap box. Now this one is set to some dart traps coming out of the walls at the back end there. And they'll just fire forward, so if you don't have a trapper, you can just kind of jump through and dodge it. But other than that, you know, just grab the box. If you've done that, all those so far, as you see, we are at full ingenious bonus. And then we just want to progress to the left here. If you go to the right through this door, it just has a shrine. Now this is the only shrine in this quest, so just be aware of that. Ooh. Ouch. Good thing we were at the shrine. Alright. So another thing to note here, just something there. Now what we need to do here is enter this room here to the west and pull that lever on that back wall. Now when we touch the water, or if you touch the water, it is going to spawn in some enemies. So if you don't touch that, they don't spawn in. But the thing to note is, once we pull this lever, it's going to spawn in enemies along the walls on both sides, as well as back there where I placed my flame turret. Which is actually why I had placed the flame turret there. And once you pull that lever at the back here, that is actually all you need to do on this side, and then can proceed to exit. And here's those respawning skeletons. There they are. So once that's done, we'll just head on over to the east side now. Now this one has a group spawning in there, right at the corner, so just be aware. And once we got these little guys done, as we continue up, there's actually going to be 3 levers. Now, only one of these open the door. Now, as you're seeing, we're spotting a whole lot of traps. So, no actual trap. Oh, there is a trap box. That is new. That is very new. Okay. So, they might have gone back and reset that one, because there never used to be a trap box for this trap. And honestly, it doesn't necessarily need one. So there are 3 levers. One of them opens a door, and then each other one activates a trap. So if you pull the lever closest to the door, that's the one that opens the door. The other two are trapped levers. Alright, so now that we're in this room, as you see, there's the ominous gates that are going to drop down on us. Now they drop down once we approach the east and try to continue on. Kind of locks you in here with all these ghostly skeletons. Now, once you kill them, and all of them, including the archers in the corner, the doors will open back up for us. Before we can continue heading east, though, we do need to head north and pull this lever here. There we go. Now that'll open up our door to continue on. Again, just a few more enemies in here. And like before, if you touch the water, it's kind of going to spawn in a couple extra enemies. And then some breakables for us. There we go. Now, this floor here, as we continue east, is actually going to be a breakaway floor. And at the bottom, there are going to be some oozes here. If you have any type of crowd controlling effect or anything like that, it does make real good short work of them, as once they're split, they have very little hit points and fall pretty quickly. And again, I love splitting oozes. It's a great way to get additional rems. However, it can be dangerous, as each of those new ones that split off and create a new ooze has the potential to spawn in Reapers. And at higher Reaper levels, not so much Reaper 1, that can actually get to be very, very difficult. I've had situations where I've done that and all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 Reapers spawning directly on top of me, and well, I don't gotta say it, but I don't usually last too long. Again, depending on the difficulty there, but alright. So, when you approach the top here, it's going to spawn in a bunch of enemies. Obviously, we hop down and kill them. However, when you pull the lever, it's going to actually spawn in some additional ones. So, it is up to you whether you want to split them up or just kill them all at once. Again, it does depend on your personal strength. We also have a chest in here. And depending on how long it actually takes you to get through, as you see, our gate opened up right away. Sometimes you might have to sit here and wait a little while. Again, just depending on how long it actually takes you to kill the enemies. There we go. Once that's done, all that's left is actually to run back to that main room here, where we had split off to go both east and west. And it'll now have opened up a door for us to continue heading north. It also spawned in a few enemies at the door, so just as a couple of guards there. Ooh, 55, nice. Alright, so the next thing I want to point out here is as you approach, there is a lever. I definitely recommend not pulling it until your entire party is here, as when you pull it, it does do a lockout a little bit further up there, which you can bypass by pulling the lever at the back of that room, which will then open that up there. I want to see if I can, there we go, drag our Plague Reaper out. So just like the other quest there that we just finished there, Delirious 3, the end fight, it's going to spawn in a whole bunch of other trash. As well, we are going to be able to fight Dreadlord Gideon. Now, when he dies, anything that is currently spawned in also dies. Now, I do want to point out that this does apply anything spawned in. If you kill them too quickly, or some of the enemies haven't yet spawned in, it won't count them, and they won't despawn when he dies there. So here goes. So as you see, some of these enemies hadn't quite spawned in, so they are still alive. If we would have waited a little bit longer, they too would have died along with them, but it's not that big of a deal. At this point, if any of your friends are locked out, you can go ahead and pull this lever, and then you grab your end loot. So you have 3 chests. The one in the center here, this is the only one that starts off unlocked. The other ones on the sides here, they are locked chests, so obviously you can pick the lock and open her up, see if you get anything good, which, I mean, for the most part it's random loot, so not usually anything good. And once you're done, you're going to want to recall. Now, again, just like how we showed you how to pick up the quest, I want to show you where to go to turn it in. So, a lot of people don't realize that it's not, again, just Hargo right outside. You actually got to go, once again, inside the graveyard, or inside the tomb there. Up at the top. Let's hop on the horse, make it a little bit faster. Right here. And again, doesn't matter what difficulty, you can go in on Reaper 9, Reaper 1. I'm just going to stick with 1 because I don't want to accidentally go in on next quest on Reaper 9, forgetting to change that out. So again, just want to approach, get that check mark, and talk to them, and you can get your reward. Now, they used to have a whole list of named items in this quest. They've condensed it down to just the 2. And the rest of the named items you now get from actually completing the quest, be it end quest loot, rather than end quest reward. So the big ones here is the Voice of the Master. Now this is the one that most people do this chain for. It's that effect that gives that heroic inspiration. It gives you a stacking 5% bonus to experience. Now again, this does stack. This is stacks with everything other than other items that give heroic inspiration or the Master's Gift. So if you look into my item on the right, the symbol of the slave lords, under the blue slot, I have the Master's Gift. That won't stack with the heroic. It's the same thing. And I'll actually get into how to craft that Master's Gift later on once we get a little bit higher level there. Alright, so I'm going to leave this for now, as in order to craft it, you actually need one of them. So I'm going to save it for now, that way I have them for when I'm going to craft it for you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.